Hi guys, it's Carrie with Rockin G Farm. Well, we have finally gotten rain. So since I cannot get outside for several reasons, rain being one of them, and working out in the farm and in my gardens, I am going to just kind of do a refurbished mat that is a welcome mat for our door. So just join me today and understand that sometimes when there's rain, we can't get out into the garden and do gardening tours or gardening information. So every once in a while, we'll just have like a cute little craft little video. So guys, this is one of the craft videos. Let me show you. A lot of the times you go and you buy these cute mats that go in front of your door and they're painted and they're so beautiful. And within a couple of months, the wear and tear has taken all of the paint off of the mats. So let me show you which mat I'm going to refurbish today. Okay, so this mat we absolutely love because if you can't see it really well, but it says home is our happy place. And it has magnolias, and actually in our wedding we had a lot of magnolias in our wedding, so that kind of means a lot to us. But also home is our very happy place. We would rather be home than go anywhere else. But what I did, I think I got this at Kirkland's at least a year ago. And it's been at my front entryway, and even though it's a pretty rug, people don't realize you're not supposed to wipe mud on pretty rugs. You kind of go somewhere else and don't use the pretty rug that's at the front door. They're pretty, and they're only supposed to be pretties. So anyway, what I did prior, I went out and I shook this mat out and got a lot of the dirt out. And so what I'm going to do now, let me kind of set you up here a little bit, guys. Sorry. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get some acrylic paints, and I got these at the Dollar Tree. So I've got white for the magnolias. I've got black for all the wording and the highlighting, and green. I don't have yellow for the middle of the magnolias. And as soon as the big wahoo of a monsoon is done, I will run to town and grab some yellow to do the centers of the magnolias like this. So what you need to do is grab your acrylic paints, and I've gotten several paint brushes at the Dollar Tree, so just different types. I've got some. These are for stenciling, and then just other little sizes here. I've got that. I've got a cup of water because you're going to need to make sure that your paintbrushes are clean, and when your water becomes dirty, throw it out and get clean water. You will need a plate to put little squirts of your paint on here. And then at the very end, I've noticed some people have put Mod Podge on this, but since we are such a high traffic area, I'm gonna try it with lacquer. I hope I don't ruin it, but we'll see. It's a fast drying lacquer, but since it is raining and it will be humid for a while, I'm not gonna put this on for probably a couple days when the humidity goes away. So I'll show you the whole process, just probably without the lacquer. But like I said, some people use Mod Podge. I'm just not going to use Mod Podge. I want something that's going to be a little more durable. So let me get started, and we'll redo or refurbish this rug. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to shake up my black paint, make sure it's good and mixed. And then I'm going to put just a little dollop of black paint on here, because I'm going to start with home is our happy place. And then I'm going to get a paintbrush that got a little paint stuck in it. Also, whenever you let your children use your paintbrushes, make sure they clean them. Mine have a habit of just leaving them paint and all on the table, and then I end up having to buy yet new paintbrushes, which these are only 5 days old. So anyway, we're going to just get some paint on my paintbrush, and we're going to just try to trace this over. So I'm just gonna go back and forth until I can get that dark, and just kind of follow in on the paint that was already there. Now, a lot of people make these rugs using stencils, and since I'm not doing a fresh rug, I'm doing a refurbishing my rug, I am just going to try to put a lot of paint back where the paint has been worn off. Okay, so now I've got Home is Our Happy Place in, and I'm just gonna start by going through the colors and just adding the colors back to the spots where they are worn out, and we'll get this refurbished by the end of the day. Woo! Okay, so now I'm going to get some green, shake it up really well, and I'm gonna put it on my plate, a little dollop on my plate. And then I'm just gonna go through and look at the greens. I'm gonna add just a little bit of black because these greens look darker than this color green, so I'm just gonna add some black to it. There we go. And I'm not going to mix it up all the way, just to kind of give it some highlights, just because if you do kind of see how it's all different colors in there, that's going to give it a little bit of different highlights when you put your paint on. So we're going to start up here in the corner and just start trying to. Okay, now you can see what it looks like with the dark green in. So now I'm going to go back and go through the light green, and then we'll head to the white, and then I'll go to the store and get some brown and some yellow so we can finish up. So for the light yellow, or the light green, I'm going to add some more green dollop to my plate. I'm going to use some white and add a dollop to my plate. And then I'm going to mix a little bit of the white and the green together, and not mixing it all the way so we can have some swirls in it. And then I'm just going to go through the white areas of the. Ooh, I need a little bit more green. That's too lime. We don't want it to be a lime green. And I'm just going to go through the lighter areas. I might put a little bit of black in there just to, yeah, that's better. Let's cover that up. Yeah, making it a little too much lime green. We aren't looking for lime green. A little bit more black in there. Let's keep pulling the green and the white together. And let's go for the lighter whites, or the lighter green colors. And just put some of the lighter green in there. Give it a little bit of a highlight color. And we'll finish up. Okay, now you can see how I've added the white or the lighter color green in here. Next thing I'm going to do, I am going to use white to do my flowers, and then I'm going to take a break and run to the store and get the yellow and the brown to finish up the stems and the centers of the flowers. So here we go. I'm going to put, like I did before, a little bit of a dollop of white on my plate. I'm going to put a little bit more because I know I'm going to use a lot of white. And then with it being a larger area, I am going to use one of these stencil brushes, so it's going to fill the area just a little bit faster. And I'm just going to go stencil, stencil, stencil. And don't be silly like me and make a mess. But okay, I just made a little bit of mess. So I'm just going to go through the area and put some white back on these flowers. And just dab, dab, dab until I get the coverage that I like. Stencil in these white magnolias again. And I've got a little bit too much in that one area, so I'm just going to kind of fan it out a little bit. Okay guys, now you can see how it looks when I've got my magnolias in. Now I'm going to take a quick break, run to the store and get me some yellow and brown so I can finish this up and we can let it start drying. And hopefully the rain has stopped. I'm still afraid that it's going to be too humid to put my lacquer on it, so it might be a couple days before I get my lacquer on it, but I'm just going to let you see how you can repurpose or redo a rug. Okay guys, I'm back from the Dollar Tree and I've got some yellow and some brown, so we're ready to get started on one of the final phases of refurbishing our rug. Okay, so now I'm going to use my darker yellow and my lighter yellow to do the insides of my magnolias. Give them a good shake, make sure that they're really mixed up well. And I'm gonna take the inside off. Let me pause it. Okay, so now I am going to put, some dark yellow on my plate and a dollop of lighter yellow. And then I am just going to start with my centers of my magnolias, and I'm going to use my stenciling brush. Make sure I get some good paint on the end of that. I'm going to stencil inside of the magnolia circles. Okay, now you can see I've got the dark color of my magnolia centers in. So I think what I'm going to do now is put a little bit of shading on them with some brown. I'm just going to stick my brush in there, and I'm using a thinner brush, and I'm just going to kind of go around the edges. And kind of mix in that brown and the yellow together, kind of giving it a little shadow. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is come in here on the branches and put a little bit of brown in here on the branches so that those will brighten up. So I'm going to, like always, put a little dollop of brown on my plate. And I'm going to use, and then I'm just going to kind of go over there. I think I might want some of these black. That might look better black. Well, let me go with brown and then we'll put some black in it. How about that? So after I'm looking at it, it looks more black than it does brown. I think it just has worn out so it looks brown when it was really black. We're going to black, guys. Let me change that. So now I've got my black on my plate and I'm gonna go back through these spots. Yeah, that looks better with the black instead of the brown. And then there's a little bit of black edging in these that I can tell from where it was before. I'm just gonna go over those. Okay, so I've got the black stems put in, and now I'm just going to go around and put a little detail in the magnolias so you can kind of see that they should be a flower. So I'm just going to use the very tip of my brush, put a little bit of black on, and just kind of go through and just put a little highlighting in there to give it some depth so that you can kind of tell that it is not just a glob of white paint, but there is a purpose for it to be there. And I do it very subtly because I don't want to accidentally mess up. So we're just going to put a little bit in, and you can kind of see how it's starting to kind of take shape of the flower. The little with the little highlights there. And we're just going to kind of go around this one here, and a little highlight. Okay, so you can see where I put a little bit of black just in between the white circles, just to kind of give it a little depth so that it doesn't look like a white blob. Now, so I'm going to come back through with my stencil brush, and I think I'm going to lighten up the center of the magnolias with just a little bit of this yellow. So I'm going to dab a little bit of the bright yellow into the darker yellow, just to give it a little bit. There, looking better. And guys, I believe that is it. So I believe that's it, guys. Let me let this dry a little bit and I will take it out and hopefully put some lacquer on it. Okay guys, so it's the next day and my rug was still wet last night, so I draped it over the back of a chair and kept a fan on it all night just to make sure that the paint was not wet anymore. So it rained all night, so I don't think I'm ever gonna get a day in the next couple of days that's not going to be humid, especially here in Arkansas. So I'm just going to go ahead and start putting my lacquer on my rug so that it can seal, and then I'll put it up in front of the door. I will keep the fan on it because of all the humidity here. It's like breathing water. At least the heat, at least it's not really hot yet. And I think it's only going to be like 87 today. Hallelujah! That is so awesome. So, okay, let's go ahead and get this lacquer on this rug. And like I said, some people do use Mod Podge, but with my area, I really wanted it. It kind of looks like it. To be using is such a high traffic area. I just want to put the lacquer on it. So I'm just going to kind of go from the end. Okay, and then I'm going to start from the other end. Okay, and I believe that's all I'm going to put on there.